as a computer science/informatics student at the Technical University of Munich looks like. Every day it takes me about 50 minutes to go to the university. So when I'm on the subway, I usually try to study something, read some news, or listen to some music and just relax. So after riding on the subway for some time, we get off and switch to the U6. The U6 is the subway that gets us to the university. So the university, at least the computer science faculty, is not located in the city center, so we have to take a subway that takes out Autogarching, which is outside of the city center. This is where I work part-time at Amazon, and then after we get outside, we finally see quite the beautiful nature and the Allianz Arena, which is where the famous football club Bayern Munich plays at. One of the advantages of having the campus that far out of the city is the beautiful nature. So after a long time of riding the subway, we finally arrive in Garching. This is the sight that you will be greeted with once you arrive in Garching. Basically a bunch of students rushing toward their courses. In front of us we can see the mechanical engineering faculty. This is where a lot of the computer science courses are located because they have the biggest lecture hall, and currently the computer science faculty has the most amount of students, therefore we mostly occupy the mechanical engineering buildings. TUM is very proud of winning the Hyperloop contest of Elon Musk basically every single time as far as I'm aware, and this is how it looks on the inside of the mechanical engineering building. So this is my computer networking class. It's a special class because there will be an integrated practical course. Normally most of the lectures are very theory based and we have extra labs, but in this case the main lab instructor would actually teach us and show us how to do some of the code to create a simple chat application, which is awesome for this video because you can actually see that some of the lectures that we have are really interactive and the students can basically code live and see what's going on. Also, shout out to Julian and basically everyone that participated in PGDP. So we don't just listen to the lecture, but we actually also compile the code and run it on our own computer, and then also send messages to the chat program, which not everyone can see. So it was really interactive and a lot of fun. We would also look at the packages and Wireshark, and it was overall really great lectures, like computer networking lectures, really interactive overall, and just a lot of students really enjoyed them, me included. Then after our little practical section, we had a theory section again, and this is what most lectures look like. Most lectures are very theory-based. So now the course is over, and you can just see how big the lecture hall is. There's a lot of students in there, and we're finally heading out. So now we're heading over to the canteen. On the right side there's the graduate student center, and so on the left side there's this newly built student center, and on the day that I recorded the video, the student center opened for the first day. This is the old canteen. By now we have a new one. I recorded this video last summer actually, but I still think this old canteen is very iconic and a lot of students spend a lot of their time there. So you would have this place on the top where basically students can line up, and then you would get downstairs. Usually the line is way longer than this. So you would then go down and then pick up your food tray. We would always joke that it looks like kind of prison food trays. By now in the new canteen they actually changed that. They have mold plates and it's a lot more modern now. At least that's what I've been told. I mean, I didn't go to university last semester because I was studying abroad in China. So here's where we pick up our food. Usually they have maybe 4 to 5 different main dishes, and then you can pick up some side dishes. I would say that the food was pretty decent. It was quite cheap for German prices. However, I've been told that in the new canteen the food is better in quality probably, but also more expensive. And then just wait in the line. We have these canteen chips, like most other universities probably also have these, and then you just pay with that. And this is downstairs where a lot of people would eat in the old canteen. On that day it was quite the good weather, so we decided to eat outside. So this is what we got ourselves for food, and I think after that we then went over to the mathematics building and informatics building, actually for the first time that day. Over there's some food trucks where you can also pick up some food. Then there's this big black building, which is the interims lecture hall, which was built when there were too many students, so they increased the amount of lecture halls. So on campus we also have student parties and elections that are there to support the students and to voice the students' opinion to the head of the university. So now here we have the computer science and math faculty, and actually this is a really awesome building. We have these super bright sunlight rooftops, and then we have these big slides that are super famous for this university, so you can like slide down from up top, and now we're heading to the library. Usually we would go to the library in between courses because, as you might have seen, the main hallway is really big and beautiful, but in summer it also gets quite hot in there and it's also quite noisy and loud, so the library is usually where you can study in silence and just kill some time sometimes as well. So then we did a small study session. As you can see, the library is really beautiful, I think. There's a lot of natural sunlight, and overall it's just a great experience. You can get a lot of books, and then I looked up the weather for the rest of the day and realized that there will be quite a lot of rain. So we're back at the main hallway. You can see a lot of students which just spend their time in between breaks there. Then on here we have the Maibaum, which is a really interesting German or Bavarian thing. So it's like basically a tree that you build up in May, and it's a big ceremony. And then we head back over to the mechanical engineering building for another lecture. This time it's theoretical informatics. And this lecture hall is not as packed as the previous one, but also you can see that this lecture is also very big.
Nur bei kleinen Mengen an Menschen.
So I headed back to the math and computer science building. This time I have a small tutorial. I think you would translate that to lab. However, a lot of the labs in Germany, or even the majority for most courses, are not graded, and then even the homework for the lab oftentimes is not graded, so the majority of the grade is actually based on the exam at the end of the semester. So the lab size is usually anywhere between 5 to 30 people, just depending on when those labs are in the week. After the lab, there's this really nice thing that the student council did for us students, so we can pick up some board games and play them together, and we usually have those like every week. I decided to not do that and meet up with a friend of mine instead. She is teaching me a little bit of Chinese and I help her improve her German. So TUM has a lot of international students and I really enjoy that. This now is the building, the new building. As you might see, the kitchen is still not used. Outside we have a rooftop terrace and just a lot of study rooms and hangout areas, and this is where we two would then study together. So after that, basically my day at Garching was over, and then I headed back to the main campus in Munich. We almost missed the subway, but we just barely made it. So I'm heading back to the main campus because of the student club. I get off at University Station, which is actually not TUM, but LMU, which is the older one of the universities in Munich. And you can see they have quite a lot of old, beautiful buildings. There are 2 fountains, and there's usually, in the summer, there are usually a lot of people sitting around, and it's just overall a great place. So now I'm heading over to TUM. I usually walk there because it's a short way, and actually the area is really nice. It's the area of Munich where people would go for drinks in the evening. There's a lot of bars, some clubs, a lot of nice restaurants, and a lot of museums as well. So on the left side on here, there's the Alte Pinakothek, which is basically a building where there's a lot of old kind of art style, and then there's a big park area in front of it, and then behind that already is TUM. So this is the main campus of the Technical University of Munich. I usually don't go there that often. Most of the times I go there, it's for the student club or for language courses or for some other courses that are not so much related to my major in computer science. So at the beginning of the semester, there are usually a lot of parties on the campus, actually, in the hallways. There's a lot of loud music, people drink a lot of alcohol. As you might know, in Germany it's legal to drink alcohol at the age of 18. So this hallway that looks really beautiful would be filled with people partying, and overall it's just a great atmosphere in the beginning of the semester, and also some parties happen throughout the semester. On the left side, you now can see the rooms where you would register when you first come to TM and where you pick up your student card. Now this is the courtyard of the university with the Audimax on the right. It's usually filled with people. I just went there at a really odd time in the evening, so it was rather empty and quiet. This is the library, and I think this is a very nice part of TUM main campus. The other library at the informatics building was also super nice, but I just really enjoy being in this library. And also, for example, when I pick up books and I don't want to go to Garching, I would just pick them up there. You can also see into the courtyard. So now I'm heading over to my club where I participate. This is one of the older parts of the university, and I think if you look on the floor, it looks quite beautiful.
Ist hier gerade aufgeräumt, so dass man filmen kann hier drin?
So you just saw one room of our student club. This is another room. Our student club is about finance and investing, which is something I don't do at all on my major. So it's something to learn on the side, and it's really interesting, something really different. Also, I just enjoy hanging out with people that don't just study computer science, but also other subjects. So after the student club, it's already dark outside. We're heading back home. This is also Königsplatz, which is the place in Munich where a lot of concerts are happening. And also down there's a museum integrated into the subway station. There are also a lot of sculptures to basically capture the art vibe. And I think it's quite a nice subway station. So now I'm heading back home. We're talking about how German universities are good and bad. To be honest, in my opinion, I think most German universities are quite good. There might be some that are a little better, but overall, in Germany, it's not like in America where there's like a huge difference between universities. I think in Germany it's a lot more balanced. And now we got off at Central Station and we're taking another subway that then leads us back home. So after a long day, I arrived back home, and then usually I would try to do a little bit of studying, but to be honest, at that point, at that day, it was quite late and I was quite tired already. But I still tried. I still put up some slide of my computer networking course. I still would try to read some pages of the computer networking book, but to be honest, after a few minutes I started reading the news instead, and at that point I realized it's probably time to go to bed. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you will also consider studying at TUM. I think it's a really great experience. Servus.